Automotive diagnostics used to be repair shop magic until Actron made it affordable and understandable for everyone. In just 30 years, they built the market, dominated it, and then got shut down by their parent company to eliminate redundancy. This is the rise, the fall, and the legacy of Actron Manufacturing. Actron was founded long before the idea of an automotive scan tool. In 1964, John W. Moran formed a company to manufacture engine ignition parts, tachometers, and voltmeters. Over the years, the company expanded into more tools and developed the Sunpro and Cal-Equip brands. In the 1980s, vehicles were becoming complicated. Auto manufacturers started to add diagnostic ports to make it easy for their dealer service technicians to get data from the onboard computers. However, each manufacturer that did this had a different idea for what the ideal plug would look like. Shops and mechanics that worked on multiple vehicle brands would have to own many different diagnostic tools or a single powerful tool with many adapters. While professionals could often afford these tools, the DIY space had to make do with knowledge passed along from person to person. These tricks would get codes out of vehicles the backup way, with plug jumpers, flashing lights, and a little patience. Actron's brand Cal-Equip was already making professional scan tools during the early days of onboard diagnostics. The company was likely working on their more affordable option when the OBD2 standard was announced. Actron still managed to introduce the first consumer-level scan tool that was affordable, at least to some degree. The Actron CP9110, briefly called the Sunpro CP9110, was a modular unit and the fundamental part of the tool initially sold for $199.95. That is a bit over $400 in January 2026 money. This wasn't the cheerful orange and dark blue tool that you probably remember from Actron. This thing was like the halfway point between a Super Nintendo and a basic calculator. In lieu of batteries, a cigarette lighter plug provided the tool with whatever voltage the car's battery or alternator was willing to provide. Cartridges created the interface between the main tool and the communications port, so you would get the adapter for whichever vehicle brand you wanted to connect to. In early 1997, Actron.com stated that the General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler cartridges were sold separately for $99.95 each. The fresh OBD2 compatible plug, however, was going for $189.95 at the time of release. There's no sales data I could find, but based on the price going up instead of down less than a year later, demand must have been high. However, not too long after, Actron developed a dedicated OBD2 scan tool, the CP9035, and began selling it in September of 1998. The earliest I have price data on that was a year later, showing up for $199.99 at the time. In 2002, the first product arrived that would be dressed in the orange and dark blue colors it would take to its grave, the CP9135. When read today, the product page highlights some of the challenges faced by makers of these tools. Even though the OBD2 connection plug was standardized, the communication methods were not, and the earliest CAN or control area network equipped vehicles were at least a year away. There was no update to download from the internet. Firmware updates were provided by a user-replaceable chip. By 2004, the Actron product line was growing, but the company was already set on a new trajectory that would put it at the mercy of other companies for the next 20 years. In October of 2003, Auto X-Ray sued Actron for patent infringement. Not much is known about the details of this case, but it was settled out of court in July of 2004. That was announced about a week after SPX Corporation acquired Actron's assets to grow their service solutions segment. In November of that same year, SPX scooped up Auto X-Ray as well. It's not clear what happened to Auto X-Ray, but they seem to have, at best, been gradually phased out after the acquisition. SPX already had OTC tools in its catalog since 1985, so it's likely Auto X-Ray had the least brand recognition and it was simply a technology rights purchase. After about 4 years, SPX was ready to shift Actron's production to its OTC facility. This meant the Actron facility in Cleveland, Ohio would begin winding down production in August of 2008 and completely shut down at the end of January 2009. In December of 2012, Robert Bosch GmbH purchased the Service Solutions division from SPX. This division still exists today as Bosch Automotive Service Solutions. It may have been part of the SPX plan, but under Bosch, the OTC and Actron product lines merged into recolors of each other. A Bosch branded recolor line was introduced as well, and later a few other brands commissioned recolors of their own, including Mac Tools and Matco. More products were slowly rolled out, but as the 2010s came to a close, more quality control issues popped up in customer reviews of Actron's staple products. Software updates became infrequent to non-existent. From 2020 onward, it's hard to tell what was going on at the Actron OTC factory, if anything. Sometime between October 14th and November 3rd, 2024, the website switched over to the discontinuation announcement, taking down any chance of a software update while they were at it. Today, you can still get Bosch and OTC scan tools, but they are completely refreshed product lines with a strong focus on professionals and shops. Despite being tossed aside, the Actron brand still has such brand recognition that many of the budget brands on the market today still try to replicate the form factor and colors that Actron made iconic. Do you think Bosch diluted its own market by releasing so many practically identical products under the different brands it owned? Do you think getting rid of Actron was the right move? Have you owned any Actron products? If so, were they from the 90s, early 2000s, or more recent? Did you buy them yourself, or did you inherit them? Let's talk about it in the comments section below, and whether you participate in the conversation or not, thanks for watching Cars Simplified.